My GF's son's lie got me arrested and fired. Now she's beckoning me back saying he misses you after the horrifying truth was revealed. Plus 3 updates. I know that's a hell of a title, but it's been a hell of a situation. I'm a 36-year-old man and my girlfriend is 29. We had been together for over a year and a half and things were going great. She has a 7-year-old son from a previous relationship who I was very fond of. I wouldn't say I was stepdad material, but we had a little friendship going. The dad is in and out of prison in the kid's life, so I was the only decent male role model he really had. My girlfriend and I were even talking about living together. A few weeks ago, I got a visit from the police and they arrested me for sexually assaulting her son. I was bailed on the condition that I wouldn't go near them, and as a result, I was placed on gardening leave at work. Last week, I got a letter saying the case had been dropped and I didn't have to attend my next bail hearing. That was it. I rang the policeman in charge of the investigation, and he said he couldn't comment too much as there was still an active investigation, but basically, her son confessed he had made it all up and I'm innocent. To say I was mad, shocked, and confused was an understatement. A couple of days later, I'd had one drink too much and I called her to confront her. She answered, all apologetic, and explained that her little nephew, who is 12, did it to her son at a party a few days before I was arrested. When her son confessed that someone had touched him, he panicked and said it was me instead of his cousin. I guess being questioned by the police scared him into telling the truth. I was so disgusted I just hung up on her and deleted my social media so I wouldn't have anything to do with them. She's been ringing me since, texting me and emailing me. She's saying that even though she's so sorry she put me through all this, she can't be too sorry because she wanted to protect her son. But she really wants us to get back to where we were, and her son misses me too and has been crying, saying he's hurt me. She said this can make us stronger and we can have a good future. I haven't answered at all. I've got nothing to say. I'm thinking of just ghosting her. I can't lie and say I don't have love for her or her son, but if I'm honest, I'm way too hurt. I'd always know she once thought I did something so unspeakable to her son, and I'll never be able to forget that his lies, no matter the reason, could have wrecked my life. And I would never want the risk of running into her nephew again. I never, ever want anything to do with him. What should I do? Some people told me I should show compassion, and I get where they're coming from. I really do. But at the same time, think about what's happened to me. The police came into my office, arrested me, handcuffed me, and led me out in front of my colleagues into a police car. I spent 12 hours in a police cell, was interviewed multiple times, and bailed. I was put on garden leave at work with the likelihood of being fired for damaging the company's reputation, and I will likely struggle to get a job in my field again. My colleagues have also started removing me from social media and ghosting me. I'm not sleeping, I'm losing weight, and I'm having frequent anxiety attacks. I wish I could have compassion and want to see them again, but right now I'm just too hurt. It's not just a case of him lying, is it? I'm likely losing my job and my career. As a result, I could lose my home, my lifestyle, and my livelihood. I've lost friends. And I've lost a great relationship with the woman I could have happily married. All because he said I assaulted him. Even if I could forgive him, and I'm not saying I could never forget it. I have a big meeting with my manager, regional manager, and human resources on Monday to determine if I still have a job. In my work's eyes, it doesn't matter that the charges were dropped. Their argument is that our job is a public-facing one where we do a lot in the community. If they keep me on board, it could damage their reputation, and their reputation comes first. Update: I want to thank you all for your advice, well wishes, and criticism. This is an update on 2 fronts. Firstly, I met up with my girlfriend. She called me from a withheld number, and I answered. She asked if we could meet, and since I was pretty angry, I said, yeah, all right. When she came over, I was all set to be guns blazing and tell her to get lost. But when I saw her, I felt all emotional and broke down. She did too. We hugged for a long time, and she kept saying how awful I looked and how much weight I'd lost. She apologized profusely. She said she had to report me because her son looked so distressed, and as a mother, she couldn't ignore it. But she said that in hindsight, she knew I wasn't capable of what he said I did. She hasn't been sleeping or thinking straight, worrying about what I was going through. Apparently, once her son admitted to the police it was his cousin, the police got a confession out of the nephew. He said he was molested himself and was only doing what had been done to him. I couldn't be nice and understanding. I said I couldn't give a damn. She seemed stunned by this, but she didn't argue. Basically, she wanted to know where we go from here. She said she loved me so much and wanted to know if I could move on from it. She also had a letter from her son. He's been really unwell and so upset about what he said, and he asked if I would read it. I don't know what happened at this point, but I got really angry. I said I couldn't read his letter. She got angry too and said he's only a kid and he's been struggling so much. She asked, did our little relationship mean so little to you? I felt so blindsided and said that it wasn't my fault he accused me of being a predator. After a lot of arguing and hurt feelings, I said I'd take the letter but couldn't promise I'd reply. After all, his accusation was likely going to ruin my career. She said she was done at this point but stressed how much she loved me and asked if I could ever forgive them. I said I couldn't promise. We hugged, kissed, and left it there. On the subject of my work, it's bittersweet. I arrived for my meeting, and my colleagues were treating me like dirt. One woman who had been like my work mom and mentor just looked down her nose at me. I tried to talk to her, and she just walked off mid-conversation. When I got into the meeting, it looked like I was just going to be fired. But I'm a pretty good negotiator, and I managed to argue a deal where I would resign, but they would agree to give me a great reference. They also agreed to pay me in full for September and October, and give me a 1,000-pound car bonus so I could buy myself a car. I'm due to go in and formally accept this Thursday. It's horrible because I've had to resign after 5 years of hard work and cut ties with a place where I felt like I had a future, all because I've done nothing wrong. Update. So, in response to my last post, I basically decided I wasn't going to take their proposal lying down. I messaged my managing director ahead of time and told him I thought he should be at the meeting. He and I always got on well. Long story short, I told him I was taking legal advice. He claimed the regional bosses and human resources had kept him in the dark, which is funny, isn't it? He said he would be in the meeting. When we got there, he was extremely apologetic and said he was going to deal with them personally. They all looked really sheepish. Basically, we worked out a deal. As a settlement, I will get a full 5-month salary on top of my current month, a 3,000-pound car settlement, and my usual 5% bonus. And they'll write me a glowing personal reference. Honestly, I was going to look into taking legal action, but I just want it to be over, so I accepted. On the subject of my now ex, I decided to read the little boy's letter. It was more of a note, but it basically said, "Dear my name, I'm sorry. I love you. You're my best friend," or something like that. I'm not a cold person, and I hadn't had a drink for a couple of days, so I sent him a note in the post too. I said I was sorry for what happened to him, and I hoped he could forgive himself in time, and also that I hoped life would be kind to him. I also called my now ex and said I wanted a clean break and I was ending it. She was crying and said she was sorry. I said I forgave her and acknowledged she did what she had to do. She said she truly loved me and would have carried on with me if I wanted to. I ended it there. My cousin, who I was planning on staying with, is on holiday, so I have booked a 3-week holiday in Scotland starting Monday, and I'm going camping. Hopefully, I can make a clean break. Update, I thought I would post one final update. I was going to just block my ex and go away, but a commenter on my last post said she might see my taking time away as just a temporary break, leaving the door open to reconcile, which I didn't want to do. So I went around to her house to tell her in person. I basically said I needed to end it and cut all contact indefinitely because of everything that had gone on. I told her that I could forgive them, but I could never forget what they did. She apologized again and said she still loves me and asked if I love them. I said no, and she became hysterical, so I left. I blocked her on everything, deleted my social media, and went on my holiday to Scotland. I was only supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but I stayed for nearly 4 and only got back yesterday. My friend who knows us both spoke to me today and said my ex has been trash-talking me, saying on her Facebook that I've abandoned her and her son. I don't care. I'm looking to move away and start fresh anyway, so at this stage, it doesn't matter to me.